Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिनिति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगगन रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ईश्वरा परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम हरे कृष्ण By the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, we are nicely studying in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Nature, the Enjoyer and Consciousness. So we finished 13 slokas in this chapter by Krishna's causeless mercy. So we understand about what is Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana, and now we are studying about Jnaya. Because Arjuna asked these 6 questions. Arjuna wanted to know what is Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana, and Jnaya. So Krishna has very clearly taught us that our body is the Sarira, is the Kshetra. Idam Sariram Kaunteya Kshetramiti Abhidiyate. So one who knows about this Sharira is a Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna. Yetat yo veti tam prahugu Kshetrajnam So Krishna is saying that anyone who knows that this body is the Sarira, so anyone who knows that this body is the Sarira is actually a Kshetrajna. That's what we studied. So Yetat yo veti tam prahugu Kshetrajnam iti tadvidaga. Kshetrajnam iti tadvidaga. So then Krishna is also the Kshetrajna of all the bodies. So that also Krishna says that Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. So Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. So that way we understand about this Kshetra, and then Krishna explained very clearly about what this Kshetra is made up of. So we know about totally there are 24 elements of material nature, 24 of them. So Mahabhutani Ahankaro Buddhi Avyaktam Evacha Indriyani Dasa Ekam Cha Panchaichendriya Gochara. So we studied, and also their interactions also we studied. Ichadvesa, Sukha Dukkha, so all those things we studied. So Sangadaga Chetanadriti, Krishna taught about that also in the sloka number 6 and 7. So Ichadveshaga Sukham Dukkam Sangataga Shankatas Chetanadriti Etat Kshetram Samasena Savikaram Udakritam. So Krishna taught us. So then we studied about the knowledge. So Krishna explained in 5 slokas from the sloka number 8 to 12 about the knowledge, that also we study. Now we are studying about the Jnayam. Then Krishna will teach us about Prakriti and Purusha. So totally Arjuna asked these 6 things and Krishna is explaining everything. So when we understand all those things, all these things, we very much understand that we are the soul, we are not made up of this matter. So that part is very clear. That part is very clear, but also we understand from this Bhagavad Gita that we are controlled by the three modes of material nature. So this knowledge is not given anywhere else. No other subjects will teach us about the three modes of nature, about the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So that's what is going to be our next chapter. The next chapter, the 14th chapter is full of gunas, because when Krishna is going to talk about Prakriti, at that time Prakriti means it's mainly the gunas. That's what is main thing we need to know. Even though in the Prakriti, Krishna has said about they are all Binna Prakriti, Bhumi, Rapu, Analo, Vayu, Kam, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankaram. So in all these things, this Ahankaram, so that is basically because of the gunas, gunas are doing everything. The modes of nature are doing everything. And so Krishna is going to talk more about the Prakriti, means about the gunas, about the Ahankara. The gunas we are going to study and understand. So that way, we understand in this Bhagavad Gita very, very clearly that we are all under the control of the three modes of material nature. No one is free from that control other than the devotees of Krishna, who completely gets the knowledge of this Bhagavad Gita and who is able to connect with Krishna fully, completely, and who is able to detach from this material world, material sense objects. So that means our mind should be focused only on Krishna. So that means we will be able to free ourselves from the three gunas, the three modes of material nature. It all depends upon our mind. If our mind is focused on Krishna, then we are freed from the modes of nature. If our mind forgets Krishna, if our mind is focused on the material sense objects, then we are immediately controlled by the three modes of material nature. That's it. So that means we need to now really understand about how to focus our mind fully on Krishna so that we can be freed from the three modes of material nature. So we need to focus fully our mind on Krishna, means this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita only is going to help us to do that, because Krishna is teaching us about how to control our mind, how to focus our mind on Krishna. So by getting this knowledge, by studying this Bhagavad Gita, we understand everything. We understand Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and we are able to love Krishna, and we are able to actually think and remember Krishna. So that's what is very important. So when we establish that connection with Krishna and do everything in our daily life, all the activities only as an offering unto Krishna. That's what in the 4th chapter at length we studied. Because in the 3rd chapter, Krishna said that everything should be done as an offering unto me. Yajnartat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaga. So that's what in the 3rd chapter Krishna taught us. In the 3rd chapter, 9th sloka, Krishna said that Yajnartat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaga. So any activity which is not done as an offering unto me is going to bind you to this material world. That's it. Very clear. Message is very clear. Krishna very clearly told us that if we do anything which is not in favor of Krishna, so that means if we do anything which is not as an offering unto Krishna, which is not an yajna, yajna means it's offering unto Krishna. Because Krishna is the Yajna Purusha. Because Krishna is the enjoyer of all yajnas. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. That sloka also we studied many times. In the 5th chapter, sloka number 28, Krishna is saying that Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. So I am the enjoyer of all yajnas, all sacrifices, all offerings, basically all offerings and austerities. So when Krishna is the enjoyer, Ahamgi sarva yajnana bhoktacha prabhurevacha. That also Krishna is saying that. Ahamgi sarva yajnana bhoktacha prabhurevacha. So I am the enjoyer of all yajnas. So that's what Krishna is saying there. Ahamgi sarva yajnana bhoktacha prabhurevacha. So if you know that, so then if you offer everything to Krishna, knowing that Krishna is the enjoyer of all offerings, knowing that Krishna is the master, Krishna is the supreme Lord, and Krishna is the controller, and Krishna is the proprietor. So Krishna is everything. So Krishna, he says that Sarvaloka Mageswaram, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam, Sarvaloka Mageswaram. So I am the supreme controller of all the worlds. That's what Krishna is saying. So that way, by knowing this fact, by knowing very well that all the results belong to Krishna, even though we act, even though we do it, of course we are not doing it, we are not acting. Only the modes of nature are doing everything. Only the three modes of material nature are forcing us to do everything. So that way, all the activities are carried out by the three modes of material nature. So that way, all the results belong to Krishna. So in reality, we are not doing anything. So we cannot claim the results. So if you understand this fact and offer all the results unto Krishna, so then that is called yajna. So that is simply called yajna. So if we offer everything unto Krishna, if you understand these results and everything to Krishna, do everything in the name and in the name of Krishna, so that is called yajna. That's it. So if you are going to work, doing some job, going to work, going to office, do anything, so do it for Krishna. Then it is called yajna. We can ask how I can say that I am doing it for Krishna. Because if we are not affected by the results, if we are not affected by the results, that means we are doing it for Krishna. When we go to work, when we act, when we do whatever we want, if we are not affected by the results, then we can claim that we are doing it for Krishna. So if you are attached to the results, if you are affected by the results, at that point of time, we can understand very well that actually we are doing it for ourselves. So that way, everything should be done for Krishna. Everything should be done as an offering unto Krishna. So that is called yajna. So if we are not at all affected by the results, that means we are performing yajna. If we are affected by the results, that means we are not performing yajna. So Krishna is saying that for a person who is not ayajnasya, loko, so Krishna is saying that a person who is not performing yajna, who is not offering unto Krishna, so he is saying that there is no life for him in this world or any other way. Nayam lokosti ayajnasya kutonyaga kuru sattama. That's what in the 4th chapter we studied. Krishna said that Nayam lokosti ayajnasya kutonya kuru sattama. So there is no place for a person who is actually not offering to me everything. So there is no place for him to live in this world or in any other way. Because Krishna is very clearly saying that Ajnascha asraddha danascha samsayatma vinasyati nayam lokosti naparo nasukam samsayatmana. Because such a person cannot live happily in this place or any other world, in this world or any other world. So that's what Krishna is saying. So Ajnascha asraddha danascha samsayatma vinasyati nayam lokosti naparo nasukam samsayatmana. So in this way or any other way, he won't be able to lead a happy life. That's what Krishna is saying. So that way we need to understand that everything should be done only as an offering unto Krishna. Everything should be carried out. Everything should be done only for Krishna. So that means we are actually doing yajna. So if we do like that, so then we are freed from all the reactions. Otherwise, we will be bound. So other work is going to bind us. So that way in Bhagavad Gita, we understand very, very clearly that we have to do everything only for Krishna. So this knowledge, this message is actually very, very clear. Krishna is teaching us very nicely. So when we keep on studying this Bhagavad Gita, revising these slokas in this Bhagavad Gita, so then we will be actually able to connect with Krishna and do everything for Krishna. Like Arjuna was able to fight for Krishna because he was with Krishna all the time and he was listening to Krishna all the time. That's what is very important. Even in that difficult situation in the battlefield, when Arjuna was completely broken and he didn't know what to do at all, at that time he was simply listening to Krishna. So that is a very important action he did. Nahi prapasyami mamapanudhyadya chokamuchosanam indriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatnam riddham rajam suranam apichadipatya. So now I don't know what to do. Nahi prapasyami mamapanudhyadya. I don't find any means to drive away this grief which is drying up all my senses. The intense heat coming from this grief is drying up all my senses. That's what a chokamuchoshanam indriyana. So in that situation, Arjuna was listening to Krishna. So he was continuously listening to Krishna and he was acting as per Krishna's instructions. So that's why he was able to come out of that problems. So we also should do the same thing. We should simply listen to Krishna, simply study this Bhagavad Gita, understand this Bhagavad Gita, listen to Krishna and follow Krishna's instructions. So that way, by Krishna's causeless mercy, we will be able to come out of all the miseries of this material existence. Mokshashe asubhat. So mokshashe asubhat. This material world is a problematic world. It's full of problems. It's full of miseries. There is no doubt about it. We know it very well. We know it very well, and in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is very clearly telling us that this material world is full of problems. It is dukkhalayam. So now, in order to free ourselves from this world, So like Arjuna did, Arjuna was all the time listening to Krishna. He was listening to Krishna. We just have to listen to Krishna. We just have to follow this Bhagavad Gita and act as per Krishna's guidance. So then we will be able to actually free ourselves from this material bondage. From all our distress, everything will be gone. So that way this 700 slokas, 18 chapters. So this is full of knowledge about our own self. So about Krishna, the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. So, and Arjuna asked excellent questions and Krishna answered all the questions at length. So we are actually going to, by getting this knowledge, so this is what is our asset. So this knowledge is the one what we need to have it. So we need to gain it. So this is what is going to help us to not lose our this precious human life actually. So otherwise we'll misuse. Otherwise we will be losing it. So we cannot lose this great opportunity what we have got to clean ourselves, to clean the soul. Because this kama and krodha, so they are all affecting us. They are all binding us. They are all covering our real knowledge. So now Krishna is teaching us this knowledge. Krishna is giving us this knowledge to ourselves come out of all the problems what we are facing in this material world. So that way Bhagavad Gita is the solution for all the problems. Every problem, just Bhagavad Gita is the solution. People sometimes say, I have this problem or that problem. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to solve these problems and all such things. Just take shelter into this Bhagavad Gita. This Bhagavad Gita will solve all problems, everyone's problem. This Bhagavad Gita will completely solve our problems. So this is the solution manual for our life. So the problems in our life itself is a problem. This material world itself is full of problems. Here everything is only problem after problems only we are going to face. If you try to solve one problem, then 10 problems will crop up. So that way, in this material world, we cannot solve all the problems without taking ourselves shelter unto this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So because when we study this Bhagavad Gita, so then Krishna is saying that if my devotee, if he worships me without any deviation, so then Krishna is saying that he will quickly become righteous. So I consider him to be the most perfect. That's what Krishna is saying. So that way, if we take this Bhagavad Gita knowledge and if we follow these instructions, Krishna is actually watching us. Krishna is not simply sitting idle, and Krishna is watching us, and Krishna will be very happy, and he will actually keep on giving us more and more opportunities to get closer to him. So if we are in a well, if we have fallen in a ditch, and if somebody is throwing us a rope to get out, so we need to catch that rope and to get out. So then only the person can pull us out. So like that, here we are in the middle of the ocean and we are struggling and we are drowning in that ocean, and Krishna is extending his hands. And Krishna is extending his hands to help us, to save us from this ocean of material miseries. So we need to just catch Krishna's hands. That's what is very important. If we are not willing to listen to Krishna, if we are not listening to Krishna, so then that means we are going to drown and we are going to suffer, we are going to die. So that way, Krishna is extending his help through this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Through this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is actually, this is the boat of knowledge. In fact, Krishna very clearly said in Bhagavad Gita, this is the Jnana Plaveneva Vrijanam Santarishyasi. Krishna is sitting on this boat, the boat of this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, and Krishna is extending his hands. So now we need to just catch Krishna's hands. That's it. Then Krishna will be able to lift us up, and Krishna will be able to take us to Goloka, Krishna's well. So that's what is very important. So now it is up to us. So we cannot blame Krishna for any of our sufferings actually. So this opportunity is available for everyone. This is the real equal opportunity. This is the real equal opportunity which is available for everyone, irrespective of poor, rich, this and that or nothing. Anyone can become devotee of Krishna. Anyone. This knowledge is available for everyone. This knowledge is given freely for everyone. Because this is the only knowledge which is available freely for everyone. Otherwise, in this material world, even if you want to get some degrees, if you want to go to some college and study, and all such things, everywhere we need to pay money. Everywhere it's very expensive actually. So everywhere it is expensive, we need to pay money, we need to spend money, we need to struggle, and we need to suffer. But here, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is freely available for everyone. So we just have to go and give this knowledge, go and spread this message, because it's invaluable. This Bhagavad Gita knowledge is invaluable because it is going to free us ourselves from this material veil, from this material bondage. So that way, this opportunity we cannot lose it. So that Krishna is giving us this knowledge, and Krishna is asking us to just follow his instructions so that we will be able to go to Krishna's way. And this knowledge is freely available to everyone, and we need to just take advantage of this. So that way, when we listen to Krishna, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Krishna is the owner of everything, Krishna is the proprietor, and Krishna is the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaga sarvam pravartade. I am the source of everything, everything emanates from me. That's what Krishna is saying. So Krishna is the source of everything. So if we get this knowledge, then Krishna is going to give us everything. Krishna is going to help us. So when we are able to get Krishna's help, then why we need to struggle and suffer in this material world? Why we need to really think that we don't have anyone's help actually? Krishna is there. So Krishna is ready to solve all our problems. So that way, this knowledge is freely available for everyone. We need to take advantage of this and get this knowledge and realize and understand that we are not the body, we are the soul, and do everything for the soul. So that way, this human life should be utilized all the time. We should be effectively use it only to which brings goodness to the soul. That's what is very important. So only for the purpose of purifying our soul. If we do like that, if we take care of our soul, so that means we will also learn the technology to free ourselves from this bondage to this birth and karma, work in this way. So we are bound, we are bonded. Now we need to understand the technology. We need to understand the technique to loosen, to free ourselves from this bondage to this material body. So we need to cut all the knots. We need to cut all the suviruda moolam, the strongly rooted attachment. Everything we should cut by the weapon of detachment. Asanga sastrena dridena chitva. So all these things are going to be possible only with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is teaching us very clearly. So in the 13th chapter, we studied in the 13th sloka, Krishna is now started teaching us what is Jnayam. So we understand what is Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana. And Jnayam, Krishna is teaching us that in the 13th chapter, we already studied in the 13th sloka in the 13th chapter. And what we studied, Krishna taught us actually. Jnayam yattat pravakshyami yajnatva amritamashnute anadimat param brahma nasattanna saduchyate. From now onwards, until Krishna teaches about this Prakriti and Purusha, Krishna is going to focus on this Jnaya. So Jnaya is mainly about the super soul. Krishna is going to teach us about the super soul, the Paramatma who is seated in our heart. So we should know him. So he's the knowable. If we don't know that Krishna is also there with us, if we are not able to see Krishna in each and everyone's body, so that means we are not knowing about super soul. Super soul means Paramatma. Krishna is Paramatma. As Paramatma, as super soul, Krishna is seated in everyone's heart. So that way, we need to know about Krishna. So that's what we are going to study and understand. So in the sloka, what we are studying today, in the sloka number 14, Krishna is continuing. Krishna is teaching about the super soul, Paramatma. Sarvataga pani padam tat sarvato kshishiro mukham sarvataga sutimalloke sarvamavritya tishtati. Sarvataga pani padam tat. So pani padam. Pani is hands, padam are legs. So his hands and legs are everywhere. So a super soul, Krishna is there everywhere. Krishna is there in everyone's body. So Krishna has got so many hands and legs. So we should not think that it's only our hands and legs. It's also Krishna's hands and legs. Because Krishna is also there in our body. So it is not our own body. In fact, it's all Krishna's body. Everything belongs to Krishna. And we are pushed inside. We are locked inside this body. And of course, Krishna is also there with us. So that way we are not alone. Krishna is there all the time with us. Krishna will never ever leave us alone. So that way we cannot say anyone that, we cannot say see you to Krishna. See you later and all, we cannot tell to Krishna. Krishna is there all the time with us only. So that way Krishna is saying that he has got so many hands and legs, because everybody, Krishna is also having hands and legs. So that's what our hands, we think that it's our hands and legs, it's also Krishna's hands and legs. So that's why Sarvataga Pani Padam Tat Sarvato Kshishiro Mukam. So Akshi means Sarvataga Akshi, Akshi Shiro Mukam. Eyes and head and face. So heads. So heads and faces. All the heads, eyes and faces are also Krishna's eyes, heads and faces. So everything belongs to Krishna actually. We think that we own this body. No, this body is like a rented house for us. So Krishna owns this body, and Krishna is also there in this body. So Krishna is saying that Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishti. I am seated in everyone's heart. Isvara Sarvabhutanam Hridades Arjuna Tistari. So the Isvara, Krishna, is there in everyone's heart. So Krishna is there in everyone's heart. So Sarvataga Srutimal Loke. Krishna has got ears everywhere. So he can hear everything. So that way, whatever we think, Krishna immediately knows, because he is there in our body as the super soul. So Krishna knows everything. So nothing, we cannot even think anything even without Krishna knowing actually. Krishna is the knower of everything. Krishna is the proprietor. Krishna is the source of everything. So that way, Sarvataga Sruti Malloke Sarvamavritya Tistari. So Krishna is pervading everything. As the super soul, Krishna is there everywhere. So that way, the Krishna we also studied in the 11th chapter as the Jagadavyakta Murtina in his unmanifested form is pervading this entire universe. So now we are studying in the 13th chapter as super soul. Also Krishna is there in everyone's body. So that way Krishna knows everything. So everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the super soul exists, pervading everything. So that's what we need to understand. So that way we should not forget this very important fact that Krishna is the super soul and Krishna stays in everyone's heart. This is a very, very important knowledge we should know. So that means every day in our day-to-day activities, whatever we do, we should actually think, we should understand that Krishna is there in everyone's body. When we see others, we should not see the body. We should not see this. We should see the soul and super soul in the body. That's what is very important. So only if we have the eyes of knowledge, we will be able to do that. So only Panditas will be able to do that. Pandita Samadarshinaga. So we are getting that knowledge, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. By understanding this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we are becoming Panditas. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we will also be able to see everyone in the same spirit by Krishna's mercy. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we have successfully finished this sloka number 14 in the 13th chapter. Hare Krishna. I'll stop now and we'll discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.